Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Chatterbox, again with another C3 TV interview for you guys. We got an awesome guest this time, Mike Delgaudio, Booth Junkie. We're going to be talking about everything in the VO world, equipment and hardware and, getting started and all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into it. Here you go. All right, guys, we are here with Mike Delgaudio, the Booth Junkie.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know about these guys, but I'm I'm not fangirling, but I'm cheesing. Your show, Booth Junkie, is pretty awesome and very informative. It's whenever I'm working, if I'm not actively recording or trying to edit it, or edit in my headphones and listening, I got your stuff on the background.
Wow, that's
so I can
incredibly
get some
kind.
Information.
Incredibly
there's a lot
of thank you.
There's a lot of great resources out there, and you're definitely one of them. And I appreciate you having me on this interview.
Thanks. It's my pleasure. My pleasure to be here.
So the first thing we always do is we like to talk about people's journey because everyone's path is unique, and there's no one way fits. There's no one size fits all because everybody is at a different point in their life and has come from a different path and is trying to get somewhere different, or all has their own unique ideas of where they want to end up. And so we love hearing what their journey was like, where they have come from and where they're going and where they're at now.
Sure.
And I know somebody like you, I mean, you're definitely in a higher tier than I am, I'll admit that, but everybody still has another goal. If you don't set another goal for yourself, you start to stagnate, You need to have another goal to reach, and I want to hear if you have something like that. So let's start.
Oh, of course. Don't we all have goals? Of course we have goals. We all have them. I actually am a late starter to voiceover. It was something that I was really fascinated with as a kid, as a teenager, and in college. I actually thought broadcasting was going to be my track. I wanted to be, when I was a young man, I thought, I'm going to be a radio DJ. I'm going to be Howard Stern or, whatever. I wanted to be a big name. And then I realized sort of the dues that you had to pay. And I went and met with some radio DJs, and I got to sit on their regular, their shift. And I realized, oh, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to just talk up records, and I don't want to have my job taken out from under me at a moment's notice. So I pretty quickly came to realize that I romanticized radio more than I actually wanted to do it. Even though, all my life, people always said, you have a radio voice. You have a radio voice, as many, many, many of us do. And I thought, well, sure, then I'll do radio. And it turns out that it actually isn't what I wanted to do. The thing that I always really wanted to do, I really like being behind a microphone. And I discovered that. I thought it as a kid and discovered it as a grown-up, a real, much later in life. I detoured. For a long time, I was a computer programmer. I was a web developer, my age. I was a web developer. My first web development job was 1995. So I was making websites a long time ago. And that's what I did for a long time. I was a programmer. And one of the things I liked to do is I liked to do training. So I was making my own explainer videos in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was teaching, whether it was programming or whatever company I was working for. I really liked to do explainer videos. So I've always sort of had the joy of teaching. I don't know if what I do is actually teaching or just sort of sharing the things that I know, and just trying to help other people. One of the things I find most rewarding is I like to teach. I like to help people get over the initial hump.
Oh, yeah.
The learning curve on many things is really steep. And so that's what I used to do. I used to do it. I used to help people to get over the hump in computer programming, in web development, and in whatever job I was doing. I always liked to teach. I liked to teach my coworkers something. And many times I ended up, running a lot of different corporate intranets, and I would do lots of asynchronous training, which we couldn't call explainer videos now.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a long time, and I had no knowledge of audio. I just, whatever my headset mic is, and, the early versions of Camtasia, that's what I did for a long time. And then I moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I didn't know anybody. And one of the things that I always like to do is I like to take classes. I'm forever taking classes. And so I went to one of the local universities where they have adult education, and I was going to take like a black and white photography class, learn how to, shoot film and maybe meet some people in my new city. And there was a class called The Art and Business of Voiceover. And I'm like, radio voice, I can go do that. So I signed up for that class, not knowing, just trying something different. And the very first night they had us go in the booth. I'd never been in a booth before. I put on my headphones, I get in front of the microphone and I blow it. I'm terrible. I'm awful. Of course I'm awful at it. And I just, I got out there and I got into the control room after, and they played us back, and I heard myself on these great big monitors, and I'm like, is that me? Is that what I sound like? Because it was, it was a real studio setup. And from that moment, it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, I know what I want to do when I grow up. Even though I'm a long grown up at this point, I know what I want to do when I grow up. And from that moment, I got a microphone. I had, moving blankets for a booth, and I just started practicing. And I recorded every day stuff that would never go out anywhere, but I recorded and critiqued, and I would try and do every little thing. So, during that class, we tried explainer videos and animation and all. And so I just started to do the things that I liked to do. I really liked the training aspect of it. I really specialized a lot in nonfiction narration. I really like, and explainer videos. I like the teaching aspect of it. And so those are the things that that's really what I started to concentrate on.
It's
I
funny,
fell in
though,
love with it.
When you're passionate about something, you love talking about it. Like when something's truly passionate in your mind and it's something you do all the time, it's something that you love to share with people.
Absolutely.
Like when I was in the Navy, I spent 4 years learning this missile system, and basically I was a mechanic. I was working on electronics, hydraulics, pneumatic systems, and I knew every little intricate piece about it. So when somebody asked me like, hey, so what do you actually do? And I'm like, here we go. And I was like, I love talking about this stuff because it's like, it's something you do every day. It's something you're passionate about, and expressing all that is wonderful. And as voice actors, we love to talk. So when someone puts a microphone or a little bit of or an ear your way, you're like, sure. Here we go.
Let me tell you about what I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And that I think when you get really engaged and really jazzed about it, and you really get sort of that Jones for it, it does reflect in your work. It reflects in your work ethic and the things that you want to do, and how much time and effort you're willing to put into it. Because this is not a job that you can just go, well, I might throw a little of my attention at it. You got to be in it.
Yeah.
Got to be in it. And if you don't want to be in it, then everybody's going to take your lunch money anyway, and you're never gonna succeed. So if you really find yourself passionate and you want to be in it, then you can really take off and you can be good at it.
Yeah, it's definitely a every single day kind of hustle. It's funny too because I find myself working more than I was before. With every single day, it's like, do I want internet next week, or do I want to throw away my auditions for the day?
Right. Right.
It's like, yeah, just to get those, it's like you got a big project. You have a good week where you make, like 4 or 5 big projects, and you're like, this is awesome. And you're like, I'm just going to coast for a week. And then you realized I got this project because of work from a month or 2 or even further back down the road or something, and now I'm here. Oh man, I need to keep, you need to keep working, because it's like, you might audition for something and get picked up a month later, do the job and get paid a month later. And it's like, that first little entryway that you do into whatever the job is, the payoff might not be 2 to 3 months down the road. And if you're really having to hassle some people for payment, that could be like 4 months down the road and 5 months. But yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some gigs you get paid a long time later. Yeah. A long time. I worked for, what is this check for? Did I do this? Did I do this job? I don't remember this job. Who's this customer?
Yeah. If I had more customers, I'd definitely be thinking that. But for now, it's like, oh, finally, I remember these guys, because that's
more often for me, because just the quantity of auditions. It's like, when did I audition for that thing? I don't remember, right? Because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
auditions have to come and go. I can't get emotionally attached to my auditions. When the audition is sent, it's gone. It's gone from my brain. I have to let it go. I can't dwell on it. And sometimes, as you know, you might actually, if you get hired, it may happen 6, 8,
Oh
10,
yeah.
12 weeks later. Who is this? Where did this come from? It's great when it happens, but
Oh
like,
man.
man,
So like I was saying, when I first started off, I started using CCC to kind of build up my chops and my technique and learning out how to edit audio and stuff and collaborate and all the different, nuances of being your own, editor and engineer, and the voice actor all together. And I'm still like I'm still getting messages from people from a year, from a few years back, 3 to 4 years ago, saying, "Hey, so it's been a long time. We got a new script. Are you available?" I'm like, "Well, I don't do free work anymore, but you know,
well,
uh,
some of the people help you come up. You gotta
yeah, I
you got
made that commitment back then, so I'll stick with it." But yeah, but it's still pretty fun though, and I think CCC is it's not the the one size fits all answer, but it's definitely a good way for anybody who's like, I don't know anything about voiceover, but I want to start doing it. Like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
start using CCC and book some stuff and see how the
absolutely.
game has worked.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's, because you can find a lot of like-minded people. You can do projects that you're interested in that a lot of them are passion projects, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
passion projects. So you can really get in. And then if you make something that really is amazing, that really resonates with people, it can really turn
oh yeah,
into
yeah.
something. I've seen that happen with CCC projects. I know, I had a really long running project that was originally sourced through CCC. So it's a great place. It's a great place especially for people who want to come up and they want to get their reps in and they want to do it on projects that they're really interested in and passionate about. There's a lot of opportunity there. I'm really impressed with how much that site has come along over the past. I remember when Buford was on Reddit and he's like, I got this thing that maybe you want to come and look at it. And we're like, yeah, I remember that. And it was cool.